The Danube Delta is where the river Danube spills into the Black Sea, forming a great expanse of marshland, channels, villages accessible only by boat, an area shared by Romania and Ukraine. We are driving now to the Romanian part of the Danube Delta, but first, a quick business meeting in Vama Veche.
Let's go! Jump, 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 jump.
You like it yet? I've never seen such a thing.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Four.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
I love you.
This is how you do 6:30 in the morning in Vama Veche. There's remarkably little information online about Delta Danube, how to visit it on the Romanian side. It was obvious to me as I surfed that a Romanian tourism agency from Danube Delta invited a lot of influential vloggers and bloggers and gave them a template complete with a "these are my own thoughts" phrase. But these vloggers didn't give any information I could use. They didn't know the cost of the hotels, they didn't know the cost of the boat tours, how to catch a boat, how to reserve one, where to eat, what to eat, where to stay. I mean, there's 20-something villages, some of them only reachable by water, so very difficult to figure out anything. So what I did was I just booked the cheapest places I could find in Danube Delta in 2 towns. So that weren't a tent or a campsite or a hostel. And we'll take it from there. Nothing reserved. I will keep you posted along the way with useful information. You're welcome. So it's about a 2.5-hour drive from Vama Veche, and the first town we've reached in the Danube Delta is Babadag. That's Turkish for Mountain of the Baba, or Father Mountain. Yeah, the Turks were around here. Babadag, as the Romanians say it, with a hard G, has become a place of pilgrimage for the Bektashi Sufi Muslims in the Balkans, as well as some Sunnis, because of this mausoleum here. Sarichioi Baba lent his name to this town. Babadag, it's named after him. He's considered the founder of this town. It was in the 1200s that he asked the emperor for permission to settle here with about 10,000 Turkish families that he was leading. Sarichioi Baba was a 13th century Turkish Alevi dervish, and he's now venerated as a saint by the local Sufis in the Balkans and the Sunnis, mainstream. And the mausoleum is here. His body was divided and buried, the legend says, between 7 coffins in remote towns in the land of the infidels, mostly the Balkans. During a military campaign, Ottoman Sultan Bayezid II visited the tomb of Saltik, and he ordered that a mausoleum be built, and a bigger town eventually was built around it. Later, Suleiman the Magnificent came to this town to pay respects to Saltik. Most recently, then Prime Minister of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, visited, 2007. The original mausoleum was destroyed during the Russo-Turkish Wars, and it was rebuilt in the 1800s and then renovated and re-inaugurated in 2007 with great fanfare. That's when the then Prime Minister of Turkey was present. So this is the Gazi Ali Pasha Mosque. It is the oldest Muslim building in Romania. And like everything else in Babadag on a Monday, it is closed. You beat me to it. So this is an unlabeled tomb. Goodbye, Babadag. And now for a 15-minute drive to get us to Deniz Tepe. Deniz Tepe, Turkish again, Hill of the Sea. I'm walking on what used to be the seabed, hence the Turkish name, Hills of the Sea. Per legend, the Argonauts landed here to seek out the Golden Fleece. Hang on, little sunflower. And now I'm going to drive about 20 minutes to the village of Enisala, which was originally Yenisala, Turkish for new village. That's Lake Babadag. So that's Enisala. You can see the fortress up on the hill on the left there. Dobruja, Dobrogea in Romanian. That's a region, kind of like Transylvania is a region. And this is a museum that is showcasing the Dobrujan lifestyle. An observation, don't do this drive on a Monday. So far, everywhere we've been, the mausoleum, the mosque, this museum, all closed. Now taking a 5-minute drive to get up to the medieval Enisala Fortress. So this is the only medieval fortress in Dobrogea that survived the Turkish-Russian wars of the 19th century. Enisala was one of the prime Genovese colonies from the Black Sea, and the Genovese built this fortress to protect it back in the early 1300s. The fortress fell into disrepair, and eventually it was abandoned between the 16th and 19th centuries, and that abandonment saved it from the Russian order to destroy all military fortresses in the Dobrogea region, and that's why it's the only one left here. This may come as a shock to you, but being that it's Monday, the fortress is closed. So, you know the name of the village we're driving to next?
Yeah, it's Sarichioi.
It's about 13 minutes from the fortress. The village gets its name from Turkish, Sarichioi, which means yellow village. It's got a sizable Lipovan population, about 43% Lipovans. Ethnic Russian Old Believers, as they're called. They emigrated from Russia en masse in the 18th century. They were being persecuted because they weren't accepting the new way of the Russian Orthodox Church. They continued practicing the old way, using 2 fingers to bless themselves and things like that. This is the Old Believers Russian Orthodox Church, Church of the Birth of the Virgin Mary. I'd go inside, but it's locked. But also, as a man, I'm not allowed to enter unless I have an untucked button-down shirt with a kind of traditional Romanian belt on. And women, what do you need in order to get in?
Oh, a lot of stuff. I need to cover my hair, no makeup, no lipstick, decency, they spell that out.
Stop right there. Decency.
Yeah.
That's hopeless. So the Old Believers fled Russian persecution by coming to a swampland, basically, and they would build their own islands and channels within the Danube Delta, you know, Good luck coming and chasing me in the swamp. I don't know if you remember, I visited Vilkovo in Ukraine. It's called the Venice of Ukraine, and that was founded by the Lipovans. Vilkovo is on the Ukrainian side of the Danube Delta, and of course we are on the Romanian side. So here it is, Romania's largest lake, Razim. It's around 200 square miles, 511 square kilometers. That boat, is a traditional Lipovan boat called Lodka. There's my pike.
Yep.
Eat the eyes of the fish, to be more Lipovan. Oh. Very juicy and flavorful. Never ate the fish eyes before. Murighiol in Turkish means violet lake. Violet Lake. What's the name of the village we're heading to now?
Murighiol.
Murighiol is about 35 minutes drive from our fish dinner, and we don't have any boat reserved for tomorrow or anything planned for tomorrow, but we're going to try to get one, and we'll stay the night for sure, maybe 2 nights. Time will tell. Here, record some of this. Try to capture what's going on here. This is a bug holocaust.
This is oat.
Îți spun o vicinată?
Nu, și bine, puteți să... Nu, țuică, din Maramureș, da.
Păi dacă ești de Maramureș, trebuie să duc camponicii de Maramureș, să vezi cum e aia.
Romanian gas water.
Asta e de apă de izvor.
This is river water.
Cappuccino.
Dacă nu-i rece, îți va da apă rece.
And this is what $50 a night can get you in Murighiol. That and getting drunk as soon as you arrive on the house. So last night as we were drinking Stoico, we asked Bobby, the owner of the hotel, how can we get a boat? I have a boat, he said. 150 lei per person to have a boat with 6 guests in it. About $30. Danube Delta figs. So the plan for today is to take a boat with Bobby, the owner of the hotel, to Caraorman, a large sand deposit in Europe, known for some donkeys wandering around abandoned Ceaușescu-era buildings. All of the Danube Delta on the Romanian side is here in Tulcea County. There are 3 branches of the Delta Danube. This is Sfântul Gheorghe branch. Brațu in Romanian. This is Uzlina, where Ceaușescu used to vacation. St. George branch is the southernmost of the three branches in the Delta Danube. So this whole area is Uzlina. That was the name of Ceaușescu's cabin, Uzlina. The water freezes in the winter, so you're looking at summer homes. The roofs are made of reed. Lake Uzlina. Every boat we've passed by is filled with people wearing life jackets. Turns out that's the law. And now Lake Isaac. Those are pelicans.
Cormoranul este cel mai bun la plecate, na.
Asta aici pește sau?
Putem?
Ce s-a născut?
This channel is called Isak 3. And now this channel is called Perefalovkan. It's a Lipovan name. I hear tell there'll be a lot of water lilies on this channel. Two wild Delta Danube dogs. I'm seeing two kinds of water lilies out here. Yellow flower and white flower. White flower's bigger. The word for heron in Romanian is stârc. Thank God I have my Romanian translator with me. This is a natural canal, by the way. No man-made. Now finally, Caraorman channel. Approaching the ruins of the Ceaușescu-era abandoned glass factory. Never used. Time to take a closer look. See, there's some donkeys waiting for us up there. It's my new best friend. Caraorman in Turkish means black forest. What did Bobby say yesterday? The Ceaușescu built it in 1989 and then they killed him. So it was never used. Look, it's a safari. A reed-roofed house. Place for storks. You need sand to make glass, and Caraorman is the largest sand deposit in Europe. Ceaușescu chose wisely. It's a big old oak tree. Okay. All right. There was a community of wild boars here, but they all died off 4 or 5 years ago from a wild boar disease. So this well was built in 1989. It says, water for the people. It's the people's well here at the Kneeling Oak Tree. You've done this before.
No.
It's all leaking out the bottom, right?
Yeah.
It's rusted, right? 33 years later. Still working. This tree is crazy. Touches the ground, grows again. And this is the people's picnic table at the Kneeling Oak. It's strange to me, all the bloggers that were writing about this place said you gotta wear a wide-brimmed safari hat, you gotta wear boots, there's lots of sand, must wear boots, long pants, long sleeve shirts, mosquito repellent, the mosquitoes will eat you alive, lots of sunscreen. I'm doing okay so far. Haven't seen a single mosquito yet, actually. This is the end of August. Bobby says it might be because the water level is lower than usual, so less mosquitoes, but I'm talking 0 mosquitoes. So fish soup.
It's not too fishy
Not
for me.
made with the water from the Danube. They used to make it with the water from the Danube. And you're not in Romania if you don't slather garlic sauce all over your fish. Catfish in this case. What is it?
Gogosh.
Gogosh. And this is housing for the employees of the never-to-be-used factory. So I'm inside the block housing that Ceaușescu built. Not much to see here. Yeah, I thought maybe there'd be some donkeys in here. There's the factory remains. This is Caraorman City Hall. Yeah, City Hall. So Caraorman has a lot of Ukrainians there. It's a Ukrainian settlement, and they're called Haholi. Haholi.
A fost mare Iure și atunci cu caide.
Back in Lake Enisala. Swan with babies. Nice hotel. Yeah, this whole complex was Ceaușescu's. Frog heaven. Back home, sweet home in Murighiol, Casa Bobby. Taking a little walk from our pension to see Lake Murighiol. the lake that this town sits on. And there it is, Lake Murighiol. Look at this entrance to the Orthodox Church. Looks like I can ring the bell from here. Shall not pass. Here's a lovely village house in Murighiol, built in 1970, and it's for sale. World War II monument. This is the Murighiol City Hall. Looking for dinner. They recommended we go to Casa Bianca. Catfish zakuska. Pike caviar salad.
Kashkaval pane.
Kashkaval pane.
Salad.
These are fish balls. This is scrumbia, in English, mackerel. And the owner, Bobby, made it. It's breakfast. Eat the skin and bones.
Why do you have to be like this?
Today we're driving along the southernmost branch of the Danube Delta, St. George. And we're taking it west, all the way to the westernmost edge of the delta, Tulcea, the city of Tulcea, capital of Tulcea County. And from there, the idea is to take a boat to Sulina, where we'll stay for 3 nights. We don't have any reservations yet. We're gonna just get to the port, see what's what. We're driving through a town called Mahmudia. Sounds Turkish. We were on the St. George branch a little bit yesterday. This is the oldest branch and the most southern branch of the Danube Delta. Now we're passing through a village called Deniz Tepe, which in Turkish means 5 hills. Look at this Tulcea welcome sign. Looks like our welcome to Tulcea is a large viewing platform. And this is Zagen. It's a wetland that's included in the Danube Delta Biosphere Reserve. All UNESCO listed, by the way. And there's the start of Tulcea, the largest city of the Danube Delta. And now for a little bit of exercise before catching a boat to Sulina. This is the Heroes Monument in Tulcea, and it commemorates the end of the Romanian War of Independence and the union of the Dobrogea region with the Kingdom of Romania. King Charles I of Romania laid the foundation stone, and it was completed in 1899. Great views from up here of this bend in the Danube and of Tulcea. The site of the Heroes Monument also contains an archaeology museum, which is on the site of the ancient city of Agissus from 1st century BC, a Hellenistic city. See some sarcophagi here. Here's some communist decoration. I like these cobbled streets of Tulcea. This sign says the Democratic Union of Turks in Romania. This mosque was built in 1863 during the reign of Sultan Abdulaziz. It's Azizia Mosque, so the mosque is dedicated to him. It was one of the largest mosques the Ottoman Empire built in the Dobrogea region. Another communist building. So Bianca made a phone call while we were here, one phone call to one boat company. There are several. And they said they could pick us up in about 15 minutes from the port right next to the Heroes Monument. Just gonna drive there, park, and get on a boat to Sulina. In case you care, the boat company Bianca called was?
Nautica Sulina.
And they told us to park at Nova Marina parking. I think it's about 20 lei a day. And the boat ride to Sulina is costing 80 lei one way per person. Here it is, the guarded lot, Nova Marina. Let's go. Once our boat gets here, we're gonna head straight east on the Sulina branch, the middle branch, the shortest branch, right to the port of Sulina on the Black Sea. And there's our boat. That was a very bumpy 90-minute ride to Sulina, but it's better than taking the 5-hour ferry, in my opinion. So I booked an Airbnb in Sulina. They wanted $200 for 3 days, and I offered $100 for 3 days, and we settled at $120. And here's what 40 bucks a night could get you in Sulina. Look at this fireplace. AC and the bedroom. We're living right across from a Catholic church in Romania. And this guy. So today is Explore Sulina Day for the 2 hours we have of sun. So along the promenade are just a bunch of signs advertising all the tours. You can book by calling the number. There's the company we use today for the transfer from Tulcea. Look at that church up ahead. This is the Orthodox Cathedral of St. Nicholas and Alexandru. It was built in 1910, started under King Carol I and ended under Ceaușescu. Let's see what the inside of a Romanian Orthodox church in Sulina looks like. I could be off on this, but I'm imagining the design, the columns, the ornate as thanks to Carol I, and then you have the concrete at the base, maybe thanks to Ceaușescu. This looks like an uplifting high school to attend. What have you found?
Corcodușe. They're very good.
Sulina is a long and skinny town, 4 kilometers long and only about 6 streets at its widest point. An old lighthouse. Literally, the old lighthouse. So in the late 1800s, we'd be walking on the sea right now. The Danube works fast. This street name just sounds Ceaușescu-esque. Is that a word? Alley of the Youth. In the 1800s, Sulina was headquarters for the European Danube Commission. That was sort of like an early version of the European Union. And people came from all parts of the world to Sulina. Some of them stayed, some of them died. There's a mixed cemetery here we're walking to where people of all faiths and ethnicities are buried together. Something tells me they don't care too much about the Muslim part of the cemetery. I love the hats worn by the tombstones. Here's the Jewish part of the cemetery. A small little Catholic section. A pirate was buried here somewhere. Protestant cemetery. This house is for sale. Did I mention that Sulina was the easternmost town in Romania? This building was the headquarters of the European Commission of the Danube. Magic is happening right now. Bianca is speaking this funny language.
Ah, okay.
Arranging some tours while we're here in Sulina. Bianca did make phone calls last night during dinner, looking to book a boat, but we ended up walking into the town's information center, saying we needed a boat. Gave her a phone number. A few minutes later, she wrote back and said one was booked. So we're going today to Sfântu Gheorghe. This is the former shipyard and naval buildings, abandoned. It's like it belongs to the police now. I don't think you can get access to it. This is the former canned fish factory. They closed it down in 1996, but before that it was producing 30 tons of canned fish per month. Here's what our company looks like for the next 8 hours. This is Canal Busurca. Apparently this canal was drained a few years ago. They attempted to turn it into some kind of agricultural land, grow corn or something. It didn't work out. There was too much salt in the soil. Canal is back.
Odată ce m-am căsătorit, am fost nevoit. Te-ai vindecat?
There's like a little intersection here, and sulfur is involved. It stinks. They call it the farting lady, or the stinky lady. Baby swans.
Sunteți orfani, măi?
The water's very warm. This is Little Red Lake. There are pelicans right behind me. You're gonna have to trust me. Now crossing into Red Lake, significantly bigger than Little Red Lake. Exiting the Red Lake via Canal Andre. It's a bird's nest. On the St. George branch. Same branch of the Danube we were on a few days ago when we were staying in Murighiol. And arrived St. George. Now a brief walking tour in St. George. Today's excursion costs about 25 bucks a person. Our guide's name is Mihai. If you don't believe me, just look at his shirt. So Mihai just told me that thanks to the filtration system, the natural filtration system of the delta, by the time the Danube water reaches the Black Sea, it is drinkable. These reed roofs take about 2 weeks to build, Mihai says. So let's talk a little bit about Sulina while we're in St. George. Mihai says that it was around 1890. That was the heyday of Sulina. Around 40,000 people were living there from all over the world. And World War I came, 60% of the city was destroyed. World War II came, like another 80% of the remaining city was destroyed. Communists came, started regulating the shit out of it, and now it's just a village of 4,000 people, hungry for tourists and fishing. Yeah, got some more information for you. There were 33 nationalities living in Sulina, and the most common language, a language on the street, was Greek, and the official language, education and legal, was French. A very cosmopolitan city. I think every house we passed so far is part of a hotel complex called the Green Village.
Apa frunză, dacă o bagi în apă din cauza perișorilor mici.
House for sale. I love the entrances of these village homes. Mihai is leading everyone to some old lady's house for some fish soup, but the old lady can't do vegetarian. Bianca's a vegetarian, so we're gonna find our own restaurant. The fish soup here is made with the water from the Danube. They don't do that in Caraorman, where we were 2 days ago, but they do it in St. George and Sulina. So the particular style of village house here that I like, the ones with the metal roof and, you know, the columned entrance, are Ukrainian. A lot of Ukrainians live here. Houses are from the 80s and earlier. So Mihai says all the soup here is made with Danube water. We went to 2 restaurants and they laughed in our face when we asked that question. They said, of course not. Of course not. And this is sturgeon soup, a specialty of St. George. Cattails. There's a jackal out there. The wind blew a landmass and is blocking the canal now. He's trying to push it out of the way with the boat. Fake island. Floating island. There you have it. Here's the old school Cherhana. Ba-bam.
Cheers.
Oh my God. Now we know the Danube water, it's safe to drink. Don't try that at home. Do not try that at home. Only you can do this.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
See you. Bye-bye. Be safe.
So Mihail affirmed once more that the soup is made with the water from the Danube, and that the waiters who told me that was not so are too stupid to know any better. FYI, here's where we booked the boat tour we took today. Good morning. Today is a beach day, right? Yeah. We're either gonna walk 30 minutes or we're gonna take a bus if it shows up. There's a bus that leaves every 30 minutes, it looks like. Old communist signs. Took a taxi instead, we're lazy. The taxi was 13 lei. That comes out to about $2.60 total, so it was a good decision. This beach, Sulina Beach, is said to be the most beautiful beach in Romania. So the organized beach here has umbrellas and chairs the chairs are 20 lei per. It's about $4 per chair. Did I mention this is a nude beach as you head north? What a great day at the beach. It's a very shallow beach. This beach is something like 30 or 40 kilometers long, uninterrupted. It goes all the way to Sfântul Gheorghe, where we took the boat to yesterday. I just WhatsApped the information center and booked a 3-hour tour in the evening. A sunset cruise around Insula K, Island K, otherwise known as Bird Island. And the cost was 70 lei per person, which is, What's 70 divided by 5? It's complicated, but it's not that much money. What, $14, $15 a person? Walking to catch the boat for our cloudy sunset tour, and just came across this lovely ruin of a church. Is there no way in? Always away. I think someone's coming. Yeah, so the Greeks built that back when there were Greeks, but now the Romanians have it. It's Romanian Orthodox now. And that ruined church behind it, the one that was extremely visibly ruined from the outside, that is a Romanian Orthodox church. There were 2 churches on the same property. Both of those churches were dedicated to St. Nicholas, patron saint of sailors. Just past Mihai, the guy that drinks the Danube water yesterday. There are a lot of buildings along this canal that are casualties of the cannery shutting down in '96. This new lighthouse was finished in 1982. The easternmost part of Romania is covered in bird shit. Like just loaded with it. I thought I wasn't going to see the Black Sea until next year, and here I am again. Black Sea is too angry for our little boat, so tour over. We're not going to go to the Bird Island or to the shipwreck. Vachu's going to try to find something, anything to show us. I'm going to sneak through that opening there. Behind me is Ukraine. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a landmass there. I can see it with my eyes. You can't see it on the screen. Permits. Every blog I was reading, they all said, make sure you have your permit. Don't go on the water without permits. Can't visit the Danube Delta without a permit. I didn't see anything while here saying we needed a permit. No captain asked me for a permit. The information place never mentioned anything about a permit needed. So I would say don't worry about that. Back in the day, most of the buildings in Sulina look like this one here. So we're walking to catch the speedboat back to Tulcea, and then our visit to Danube Delta is completed. Here's the old library of Sulina. taking the same company back to Tulcea, Nautica Sail. That's 17 in a boat for 12. That was a hot and crowded and sweaty and wet, miserable 90 minutes. Back on dry land in Tulcea. So there's your little taste of the second largest river delta in Europe. Over 4,000 square kilometers of surface area, 1,600 square miles. In some, I wouldn't worry about much preparation, just, book a place and get there. I guess Sulina is considered the most central in terms of all of the options offered for boat tours. But my favorite area there actually was Murighiol. It was more personal, just staying at a pension instead of an apartment, which we rented in Sulina. How'd you enjoy your second delta? No, your third delta experience.
Yeah, it was very nice. I would come here again. I do wish the food could improve a bit, especially for vegetarians.
Not a lot of vegetarian options.
Not too much. It's just fish.
You want some more airtime?
I do.
Okay.
I want to mention that Sulina has a very nice beach. It's mostly wild beach, and you have just a bit of like chairs, lounge chairs, bars, and food options. But it's very, very nice. You should go there. If you visit Sulina, you should go to beach.
Yeah, the beach we showed them.
Yeah.
Just stopped by the lake in Somova, which is still in Tulcea County, and still Danube Delta as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's just filled with wetlands and lakes, and in this case, swans. A little bonus, gonna stop at another small town in Tulcea County, right on the Danube River across from Ukraine, see if we can see Ukraine from the port there. It's called Ceaușescu-era, or as the Turks said, Ishakcha. It was named after Ishak Baba, the founder of the town, Muslim, back in Ottoman Empire days. All these trucks are waiting to cross into Ukraine across the Danube. As promised, a view of Ukraine across the Danube. We're crossing the Danube River to Galatz, and I'll leave it at that.
And